How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to talk about how to look rich but be frugal at the same time. Previously, I've talked about how you can build wealth a lot easier if you do not try to look rich all the time. However, there is a slight argument for looking rich because there are social advantages. Let me just reiterate that for most people, if you want to be rich, you really need to stop trying to look rich. Because you can think of yourself as a honey badger, and a honey badger is badass and he doesn't give a what people think. But if you must, let's get on with looking rich on a budget, because looking rich still has its social advantages. One of the things I think really helps with becoming a rich person poser is to try small quantities of very expensive things. Then you try to tastefully integrate this expensive thing in the background of whatever you're doing. For example, if you have a really nice handbag, put it in the background of some really cheap coffee and just say, oh, I'm having coffee with my friends. You can also do things on the weekend and save it for the weekday and make it seem like you're actually going out on a weekday. You can also try to travel internationally once a year, and if you cannot afford this, turn credit cards in order to pay for it. Now, how do you do this? Basically, get a high credit score and then apply for one of those credit cards that have a really high sign-up bonus. Then you quickly meet the sign-up bonuses by buying gift cards, use plastic to pay off your bills, or you can prepay your utility bills and you can quickly fill up maybe $4,000 worth of spending. Now, whenever you're trying something extraordinary or at a unique travel destination, make sure to take a lot of pictures so you can reuse them later on. Extraordinary could be trying a new restaurant that just opened and then you can just plaster it over Facebook or Instagram. If you're trying first class for some reason, make sure to take a lot of pictures so you can reuse them later, where you can go, oh look, I'm at a first class thing, oh look, I'm at it again. But that might be a little bit lying, so it might catch up to you. Generally, you can get a feel of what an expensive thing is like just so that you can talk about it. So if you can just try it just once, it has minimal impact on your bottom line. For example, you can go skydiving one time and never go again, and then you can talk about it for a lifetime. You can just barely know about golfing just enough to be able to use the driving range as well. Know more about expensive foods such as caviar, the difference between Wagyu and Kobe steak, what different high-end wines. Maybe you take a class or two and then you don't actually have to buy those expensive bottle of wines. You just have a taste of it, just enough to know what better wines taste like. I personally was very curious about caviar, so I bought some from Costco actually. I bought like a 2-ounce thing and I basically just ate it. It was like $60 and it was very expensive. So it came with this silver container. You're supposed to put a whole bunch of ice here, put this on here, and then this is the tray for the caviar. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this. Maybe I can melt this down and get the silver out of it. I didn't even actually make it go with crackers or anything. I just took a scoop out and just really tasted it because I really wanted to figure out what it tasted like by itself. Sometimes when you go to a restaurant, they just put like a few balls on it and you can eat those forever and you will never know what the caviar itself tastes like. Basically, it tasted a bit fishy and salty. If you had ikura in sushi, it's basically those orange balls shrunken down, and then there's a slight nutty flavor to it. Wagyu Kobe steak, I'm sure people can be a lot more versed in this than myself, but there's select, choice, and prime level USDA. The prime level is generally what high-end steakhouses serve. However, it gets a bit higher than that because sometimes they have Wagyu, which tries to mimic the Kobe beef, where there's more marbleization, and then Kobe has various levels of marbleization. I think there's 14. And generally in the US, they serve Kobe level 7 because anything from 8 to 14 is just tastes like a blob of fat, apparently. I haven't had 8 to 14 yet, but maybe one day I will. I think I didn't even have official Kobe because it comes in like $200 every 3 ounces. I did have some Australian Wagyu. I only had it once or twice, but I'm able to talk about it. And I remember sitting at a table with a bunch of executives and they were just amongst themselves talking about, oh yeah, you know, Alexander Steakhouse is really good, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I've been there before and I don't understand the need of constantly showing off because that's what they were doing to each other, and I was able to talk about it just fine. But that kind of showing off isn't my thing, and they're just kind of one up each other, and I'm just watching and they're like, oh yeah, you know, I tried this wine, or I tried this place, I was just there that last weekend or something. Anyway, moving on to looking rich. You can buy a fancy sports car used and it won't cost you that expensive. Kind of like me when I bought my used Porsche for 20K about 10 years ago. You can imagine, because I keep it in pretty good condition, I've had people walk up to me, and for a person that's never bought a Porsche before and they don't know the pricing of that, they always think that it's very, very expensive. Usually when people guess, they would guess about $50,000, but really the value of it today is only about $6,000 or $7,000. So buying a used expensive luxury car can be very easy on your pocketbook, and yet you can still look pretty rich. Now, if you want to look rich, you want to have at least one expensive item in your wardrobe, and the rest can be pretty cheap. For example, I bought this quality jacket from Diesel, and this thing is crazy expensive, and I have no idea what went on in my head when I bought this, but this thing was something like $350. Yeah, Diesel is really expensive, but I guess if I want to look nice and show off, then maybe I can wear this jacket. You know, it has these zippers and all these buttons and things. Then I can go, hey guys, yeah. You know, generally I don't even care about looking rich, but maybe sometimes I need to look a little more presentable than just, you know, just t-shirt and jeans. So I guess, you know, wearing this jacket would kind of do. So you guys, what do you think of this shirt? It's pretty nice, right? It's merino wool from Banana Republic, and it retails for roughly $90. But people don't have to know that I actually paid nothing for this sweater. But now that I made this YouTube video, if people are watching, they probably now know that I got this for free. Anyway, I think it looks elegant enough because it's like a really nice and soft sweater, and it's simple, and I think this gives a rich look, right? What do you guys think? Lastly, you need to know how to take care of your skin, because for someone that's confident and basically rich looking, they have clear looking skin. I'll put that video over here if you're interested in checking that out. I hope you enjoyed these ideas on how to look rich. Don't forget to give me a like on this video. Comment down below. Let me know if you have any other ideas on how to look rich on the cheap. If you're interested in supporting this channel, I have an Audible link down in the video description below where you can get a free audiobook, and even if you cancel before the trial period ends, you can keep the book and you can still help benefit this channel. I also have a Patreon over here, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.